Acting is serious business, but for one star, seeing boobs is just too much to handle. While it may seem commonplace for celebs to bear it all on screen, there are a few who refuse to join in. It seems as if Kendrick has done just about everything: teen romances, Oscar-nominated dramas, musicals, animation, hip comedy, and broad raunchy comedy. But one thing she'll likely never do is take her clothes off for the camera. She told The Telegraph in 2010, "I will not do that. I am not criticizing people who do that, but I plan to keep doing what I'm doing and hope it keeps going good." Kendrick further discussed the matter in her 2017 memoir, Scrappy Little Nobody, writing, "I don't mind a sex scene. A character can be having a sex scene, but my physical parts always feel like mine, cause they are." So when it seemed that Kendrick's bare rear end made an appearance in Mike and Dave Need Wedding Dates, it wasn't hers. She used the butt double. Rebel Wilson's performance as the obnoxious roommate Bryn in 2011's Bridesmaids is what put her on the map. In 2016, Wilson told Marie Claire magazine that acting had been a way for her to deal with her crippling shyness as a child, admitting, "I was so unusually shy, bordering on a social disorder." While she's definitely no longer shy, Wilson still isn't especially open to on-screen nudity. While she was filming 2016's The Brothers Grimsby, Wilson claimed she was approached to perform a nude scene.
"Oh look, I'm exactly like Sharon Stallone in Basic Instincts."
Wilson revealed to Marie Claire, "They wanted frontal nudity. We write in the contract specifically no nudity." Though Wilson went on to say that she might consider doing it for a serious film, claiming, "You want to know that the people behind the camera have a certain sensibility and decency, and a lot of times in comedy, they're not those people." While Kristen Bell is probably best known for her starring role in the mystery series Veronica Mars, she's also well established in Hollywood movies and other high-profile television shows. In the Showtime series House of Lies, her character is shown in her underwear and engaging in sex scenes. While Bell has never shied away from being intimate on camera, she does draw a clear line. When speaking to Women's Health magazine, Bell revealed that when she discovered she would appear in some compromising scenes, she wanted to look good, but she wasn't interested in going without underwear, saying, "I kicked my buns and ab sets into high gear when I knew I'd have to be in my bra and underwear on House of Lies. But I don't show my crack. All the Mr. Skins of the world are like, ooh, Kristen gets naked. I'm like, dream on." Jim Caviezel is mostly known for his turn as Jesus in Mel Gibson's The Passion of the Christ, but he played a very different role in the CBS series Person of Interest, establishing himself as equally capable of playing heroes and villains on screen. In an interview with People, Caviezel explained that he doesn't like to appear nude in films because of his deep respect for his wife. When performing in the film Angel Eyes, he asked that he and Jennifer Lopez wear clothes for the sex scene. But it isn't just about respect for his wife, with the actor also holding close to his religious beliefs. He claimed in an interview with Crosswalk, "Don't get me wrong, I do love scenes, but not ones with gratuitous sex. I also don't do gratuitous violence. It's sin, pure and simple. I mean, it's wrong." While Oprah Winfrey isn't best known for her acting, primarily being a talk show host and author, she has received acclaim for her work in films like The Color Purple and Selma. But in an interview with Vulture, Oprah discussed her role in the Lee Daniels film The Butler. While the original script called for Oprah's character to get frisky, she fought to remove any love scenes and nudity, saying she's a mother and she loves her husband. So she's not going to be sitting up in the middle of the day watching her soaps in her bra and panties smoking. And once she does, the audience can never forgive her. As a world-famous author, singer, and actor, Hilary Duff can decide exactly what she does and doesn't want to do. In 2006, after rising to fame for her character Lizzie McGuire and appearing in various kids' television series, Duff vowed to never remove her clothes for any on-screen role. She told the Sunday Telegraph, "If I do a movie, I want to be myself. I don't want to take my top off or anything. It seems it's the trend to turn 18 or 19 and then take your shirt off and do something crazy. And I don't know what comes after that." Angela Bassett has seemingly appeared in everything from acclaimed biopics to summer blockbusters, and she is more than willing to pass on a role if it doesn't fit with her own philosophy or makes her uncomfortable. This is exactly what happened when she was offered the lead role in Monsters Ball, which eventually went to Halle Berry. who won an Oscar for her performance. Bassett doesn't regret turning down the film, feeling that getting naked on screen for that project would have advanced racial stereotypes. She explained in Newsweek, "I wasn't going to be a prostitute on film. I couldn't do that because it's such a stereotype about black women and sexuality." Bassett further explained how aware she is that movies are permanent and cannot be escaped, saying, "It's about putting something out there you can be proud of 10 years later. I mean, Meryl Streep won Oscars without all that." Jessica Simpson has found fame across multiple disciplines, being a singer, businesswoman, and actor. She has appeared in films like The Dukes of Hazzard and Employee of the Month, as well as numerous television series, including Entourage and That 70s Show.
After Michael threw up, I told him, "You're not supposed to eat the plastic wrapping."
When speaking to Allure during a photo shoot in 2010, Simpson made her stance very clear that she has no interest in doing any nude scenes, explaining, "I will never do nudity. I don't care how dark and intellectual the role could be, you know? I don't care if I freaking get an Oscar for it. I'm not going to do it. Those accolades mean nothing to me." Simpson wants to keep that part of her life private, saying, "I don't think people deserve to see what's underneath my clothing." Drew Barrymore first rose to fame for her role in 1982's E.T. the Extraterrestrial, and her extensive career since then has included comedies, mystery thrillers, and the well-received Netflix series Santa Clarita Diet. While she was not opposed to being nude on screen during her late teens and early 20s, things have changed in more recent times. Some of that is due to advice she's received from those around her. Barrymore explained to The Guardian how Steven Spielberg advised her to cover up more often, saying, "He has always inspired me to be my best, so I didn't want him to see me at my worst." Motherhood has reportedly also shifted her perspective, and she now wants to lead by example when it comes to being a parent. In her memoir Wildflower, Barrymore noted how the moment she flashed David Letterman on live television was a turning point, claiming, "I realized right then and there that this was the end of an era for me, and so I started my journey into no sex scenes in movies, modesty clauses in my contracts, and a total lack of nudity in any public forum from there on out." Neil McDonough has had a long and varied career. He's had serious dramatic roles in shows like Band of Brothers, a stint as a villain on Desperate Housewives, and has even been part of the Arrowverse. But it's unlikely an audience will ever see him doing a nude scene. McDonough is a devout Catholic who takes his religious beliefs very seriously and believes performing sex scenes would be disrespectful to his wife. During an appearance on Inside of You with Michael Rosenbaum, McDonough claimed, "I got crucified about 10 years ago where they thought I was this religious zealot, that I wouldn't do sex scenes. It was really because I love my wife more than I love my craft, and people couldn't understand that." One of Raiden Greer's earliest roles was meant to be in the first season of True Detective.
I was called back to read for this character, Kelsey Burgess, for True Detective.
According to Greer, director and producer Kari Joji Fukunaga pressured her to appear topless in the series, even though it was never even mentioned before she appeared on set. She claimed in an interview with the Daily Beast, "He was trying different things to convince me that it's not a big deal. I was like, well, if it's so insignificant, why is he so insistent that I have to do this? It was just on and on and on with no budging." Greer found the experience upsetting, especially when she was subsequently fired from the role. She explained to the Daily Beast, "It was degrading. It was humiliating and made me feel terrible. As soon as I got in my car, I started crying and I called my agent and I told her what happened, and she couldn't believe it." Keira Knightley is an award-winning actor, appearing in high-profile movies like Pirates of the Caribbean series, Pride and Prejudice, and The Imitation Game. During her early career, she didn't shy away from acting in nude scenes, but that changed after she became a mother. Knightley now has 2 daughters, and it's altered her perspective, telling the Financial Times, "I always felt completely comfortable doing it when I was younger. I never did anything that I didn't feel comfortable doing. I'm really happy with my body. It's done an amazing thing, but I also don't want to stand there in front of a whole film crew." The actor also joked that it has worked out as she doesn't have to deal with the nipples droop, and that she can play a role in choosing her body double in nude scenes. At one point, Raquel Welch was a Hollywood icon and a huge sex symbol. In fact, her legendary appearance in 1 Million Years BC led to her being featured on millions of posters around the world.
What say there, fussy britches? Feel like talking? Guess not.
Welch was well aware of how she was perceived, admitting to using her sex appeal to advantage in her work, but always doing so within limits to avoid completely exposing herself. Famously, she even managed to avoid stripping when she appeared in Playboy magazine. Welch explained in her memoir, Raquel, Beyond the Cleavage, that she liked to keep some of her life personal, saying, "I reserve some things for my private life, and they are not for sale." Her father also played a role in her decision not to appear nude on screen, with Welch explaining during an appearance on Piers Morgan's Life Stories, "I am my father's daughter, and that's just not the way you behave. You don't do that if you're a certain kind of woman, and that's the kind of woman I was raised to be." Blake Lively has often spoken about a self-imposed rule that she's had throughout most of her career, refusing to appear nude on screen. She feels that it takes viewers out of the story. In her case, naked bodies in a movie instantly draws her attention. She explained to Vanity Fair, "I always find nudity distracting. I'm very in love with my husband, but if there's a pair of boobs out, I'm a human being. You're like, boobs. It doesn't mean I'm lusting for them, but when there's naked boobies, you look at them." But Lively did break this rule for the 2016 film All I See Is You. After reading the script and being moved by the experiences of her character, who begins to regain her sight after a lifetime of blindness, she was persuaded to appear briefly in a modest nude scene.